Hi everyone, I'm Daisy Victoria, and today I'm going to show you 3 different types of underbust corset silhouettes. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss anything I post here. I've been making corsets for many years and it's one of my passions. Corsets come in a variety of silhouettes. These are all modern silhouettes that I'm going to show you, so there's no like extra padding or anything that you might sometimes find in historical styles of certain periods. This is all just 3 styles that, you know, you could use nowadays. You could wear it with fantasy costumes, with a cool blouse maybe like I have now, and so on. The first style that I already have on is a little bit of a long line underbust. It goes actually onto my hip bones down here. So, you know, I can still move my legs up and everything, but certainly the corset is low, right? So this style is very nice, especially I think it looks really good with things that are fitted along the hips and legs, because then you're not changing that silhouette, right? With a corset like this, and really with any corset, you want the waist to be very tight. So the waist is where it's going to pull you in. And then up here at the ribs, you don't want it to be nearly as tight because you don't want to squash your ribs, right? And down at the hips, again, not as tight. You don't want to like cut in and get like extra lines or rolls or something. You want it to be the tightest at the waist, or at the very least an equal tightness if you're not trying to cinch really. This one was made to fit me, so it's very comfortable for me. I can wear this all day, no problem. And I think it's really nice. This particular one is made of a Duchess satin in black, so it's kind of a plain style, or as we might prefer to say, a classic style. So it's just like a classic corset, really nice, really elegant. I love it. Okay, let's look at the next one. By the way, I did make all of these corsets and I did draft the patterns. In fact, these are patterns that are tried and true for me, which have been tested and adjusted over many years. I feel very confident that these corsets are awesome, well fitted, and I can adjust the patterns to fit other body types too. The second underbust corset is cut a little bit higher than the first one on the side, so it has a little bit more of a point in the front. It's also less tight on the hips. Reason being, this type of corset is better suited for wearing over like a big skirt, for example. That's actually the reason why I did it that way. So with this one, the waist is still your tightest point. That's hands down, you need the waist to be the tightest point. The ribs here, pretty tight, you know, like the last one, not making it so they're squished, but you know, tight on there. And then the bottom, I can get my hand in here. And the reason for that is, so if I have a skirt that has like a few layers of fabric, maybe some tulle, the corset isn't gonna cut into the skirt and make it look funny. You know, it's still gonna allow that line to go there. Now this can be made tighter at the bottom, so if you wanted it to be more fitted for a sleeker look, I can do that too. And in fact, that's sort of like a 4th silhouette that I'm not filming because the one I have on hand right now is covered in dragon scales and you can't see the actual corset very well. Both of these first 2 corsets have a front busk and back lacing, and in fact I also have a video tutorial on how to lace yourself into a corset, so I'll link that for you so you can learn that too. Alright, so that's the second corset, and keep in mind you can have this corset loose at the bottom or tighter. You know, it could be just like the first one but cut higher, you know. There's infinite possibilities for variations here. Alright, let's get the next one. Ooh la la, aren't we fancy? This one is rather embellished, and I kind of feel like it's a little out of place with the plain top. I did make it to go with a very formal gown, and I love it. So anyway, what is it? Well, it's shorter than the others. So the others came up more like actually under my bust, and this one sits a little bit lower down at the top edge. This one is much shorter than the other two I showed you. So the other two come up like really under my bust line, like kind of where my bra goes, and this one is much lower. It's, you know, significantly underneath my bust line. Now, also the bottom comes up a lot higher. So this is actually up over the top of my hip bones, whereas the other, even the high one, was, you know, at least below the top of them, and the long line was quite far below. So this one is more like what you might call a waist cincher. If you see waspy corsets, they may even be shorter than this. So this one doesn't have a front bust because of the way it's embellished, honestly. It could still have a front bust, it would still function that way, and it does still lace in the back. This corset style is really nice for something where you want a smaller corset silhouette and not your entire torso, right? So I like this one quite a lot. I have to say I like all of them quite a lot because I like corsets quite a lot. I mean, if you're gonna make corsets, you probably should like them. Otherwise, why are you making them, right? With this corset, again, the waist is very tight, and then the top and the bottom edges are tight, but they're not gonna cinch me in the way the waist can cinch me in. So you want to make sure that you're comfortable no matter what corset silhouette you go with. Which corset silhouette is right for you is really up to you and how or where you want to wear it. So the main thing is that it fits you and it's comfortable and you feel amazing in it. So I put on these corsets and I feel beautiful and awesome, and that means they're perfect for me. Also, they fit me, so I mean, that's really good too. Which of these three corset silhouettes is your favorite? Which one would you prefer to wear? I have to say I like all of them, but I also feel like each one has its own purpose. And sometimes we have a preference for a certain style versus another one. Mine actually changes over time. I feel like lately I've been leaning toward the long line corsets, whereas in the past I leaned toward shorter ones, so, you know, just whichever one I like at the time. Next up, I'm going to do a video on 5 silhouettes of overbust corsets, so stay tuned for that one. Also, if you found this video helpful, please give it a like, that really helps me. And if you like corsets and fantasy clothes and want to see what else I do, please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. You can also find me on Patreon for extra goodies, advanced release videos, and more behind the scenes cool stuff. And you can find me on the social medias. You can also go to my website, daisyvictoria.com, where I take custom orders and I do sample sales occasionally. Thank you for coming with me to Corset Land, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye.